Commander Elena Vasquez stood in the observation deck of Research Station Omega-7, watching the binary stars of the Kepler 442 system dance their eternal waltz. The station housed 15,000 researchers, engineers, and support staff, the brightest minds humanity had assembled to unlock the secrets of faster-than-light communication. For 3 years, they had been so close to a breakthrough that would revolutionize galactic civilization. Elena had no way of knowing that in 6 hours, every person on her station would be dead. And in the months that followed, the galaxy would learn why humanity's scientists were more dangerous than its soldiers. Dr. Marcus Chen hunched over his workstation in Laboratory Complex C, his eyes bloodshot from 72 hours of continuous work. The quantum entanglement array hummed softly behind him, a maze of crystalline structures and electromagnetic fields that represented humanity's most advanced technology. His research partner, Dr. Sarah Kim, worked at the adjacent station, her fingers flying over holographic displays. "Marcus, look at this," Sarah called out, excitement threading through her exhaustion. "The resonance patterns are stabilizing. I think we actually did it." Marcus abandoned his own work and rushed to her station. The data streaming across her monitors made his heart race. After years of theoretical work and failed experiments, they had finally achieved stable quantum entanglement across interstellar distances. Instantaneous communication between star systems was no longer a dream. "Sarah, do you understand what this means?" Marcus whispered, afraid to speak too loudly, as if the universe might overhear and snatch away their discovery. No more waiting. Months for messages between colonies. No more isolation. Every human world connected in real time. Sarah nodded, tears streaming down her face. "We need to contact Commander Vasquez immediately. The applications are endless. Scientific collaboration across the galaxy, coordinated defense networks, economic integration on a scale never before imagined." Neither scientist noticed the small sensor probe that had been silently observing their work from the ventilation system above. The probe belonged to the HFY hegemony, a technologically advanced species that had been monitoring human research for the past year. To the HFY, faster-than-light communication represented an existential threat to their carefully maintained galactic order. In the depths of space, 3 light-years away, HFY Fleet Commander Zixthul received the probe's transmission aboard his stealth cruiser. His 4 eyes studied the human research data with growing alarm. The bipedal mammals had achieved what the HFY had deliberately prevented dozens of other species from developing. "Communications," he ordered his subordinate. "Send a priority. Message to the High Command. The humans have developed instantaneous quantum communication. Request immediate authorization for Protocol 7. His communications officer, a younger HFY named Veltar, hesitated. "Sir, Protocol 7 has not been implemented in over a century. The political ramifications of allowing this technology to spread are far worse," Zixthul cut him off. "The humans must be stopped before they can share this discovery with other species. If quantum communication becomes widespread, our ability to control information flow across the galaxy ends." The HFY hegemony had ruled through information control for over 1,000 years. They positioned themselves as neutral mediators and galactic peacekeepers. But their true power came from being the only species capable of rapid interstellar communication. Every other race depended on HFY relay networks to coordinate between their scattered colonies. 6 hours later, the response came from HFY High Command, a single word in their ancient language that translated roughly to "sanctioned." Protocol 7 was authorized. Research Station Omega-7 and everyone aboard it would be eliminated before their discovery could spread. Commander Elena Vasquez was reviewing supply manifests in her office when the first explosion tore through the station's outer hull. Emergency alarms screamed to life as atmosphere began venting into space. She grabbed her emergency communicator and opened a channel to all sections. "All hands, this is the commander. We are under attack. Seal emergency bulkheads and report to battle stations." Elena had served in the human colonial navy for 15 years before accepting the research station assignment. Her military training kicked in automatically, even as her mind struggled to process who might be attacking them. The station shuddered under another impact. Through her office window, Elena could see sleek, unmarked ships firing precision strikes at specific sections of the station. These weren't pirates or raiders looking for supplies. This was a surgical strike designed to destroy something specific. "Commander!" Dr. Chen's voice crackled over the communicator. "They're targeting the research labs. Whatever this is about, they're after our work." Elena's blood ran cold. The quantum communication project was classified at the highest levels. Only a handful of people in the galaxy even knew it existed. For someone to be targeting it specifically meant they had intelligence sources deep within human space. "Marcus, can you download your research data?" she asked, running toward the emergency command center. "If we can get it off the station—" "Negative, Commander. They're jamming all communication frequencies. Even if I could compress the data, there's no way to transmit it." Elena reached the command center to find her staff desperately trying to coordinate the station's minimal defenses. Omega-7 had been built for research, not warfare. Its shields were designed to deflect micrometeorites and cosmic radiation, not military-grade weapons. "Status report," she demanded. Lieutenant Torres, her tactical officer, looked up from his console with grim news. 6 ships, unknown configuration. They're using some kind of stealth technology. Our sensors can barely track them. Estimated time until total structural failure, 47 minutes. Elena studied the tactical display. The attacking ships were methodically destroying specific sections of the station while avoiding areas with civilian quarters. They were buying time, trying to ensure complete destruction of the research data while minimizing casualties that might draw unwanted attention. "Commander," Dr. Kim's voice joined the conversation. "Marcus and I are implementing emergency protocol 12. We're encoding the quantum communication blueprints into the station's quantum memory core. Even if they destroy everything else, the data might survive." Elena nodded. Protocol 12 was a desperation measure, encoding critical data into quantum states that could theoretically survive complete physical destruction of their storage medium. It had never been tested under combat conditions. The station lurched violently as another section was breached. Through the command center's reinforced windows, Elena could see bodies floating in space. Her people, killed while trying to evacuate damaged sections. Rage built in her chest. Someone had decided that her crew was expendable to protect their secrets. "All stations, this is the commander," she broadcast. "Prepare for total evacuation. We cannot save the station, but we can save our people." "Commander, wait," Dr. Chen interrupted. "Sarah and I aren't leaving. If we abandon the lab now, 3 years of work dies with us. We need 5 more minutes to complete the quantum encoding." "Marcus, the structure won't hold for 5 more minutes." "Then we'll have to make it hold," Sarah Kim's voice cut in, steady, despite the chaos around them. "Elena, this isn't just about our research. If someone is willing to commit mass murder to stop this technology, then it's more important than we realized." Elena closed her eyes, making a decision that would haunt her for the rest of her life. "All evacuation pods except emergency pod 7, launch immediately. Pod 7 remains docked for scientific staff evacuation." She was condemning herself and dozens of others to probable death to buy 2 scientists 5 more minutes. But she understood what they meant. The attackers. Desperation suggested that quantum communication represented more than just a scientific breakthrough. It was a threat to someone's power. 4 minutes later, as the station's superstructure began its final collapse, Dr. Chen and Dr. Kim completed their work. The quantum communication protocols were encoded into a crystalline matrix no larger than Elena's thumb. They sealed it inside a specially designed emergency beacon and handed it to her as the final evacuation pod prepared to launch. "Commander," Sarah said, her face pale but determined, "promise us this technology will reach Earth. Promise us their deaths won't be for nothing." Elena took the crystal, feeling its slight warmth against her palm. "I promise." 30 seconds. Later, Research Station Omega-7 exploded into an expanding cloud of debris and ionized gas. Of the 15,000 people aboard, only 847 survived in evacuation pods scattered across the system. Elena's pod was picked up 6 days later by a human patrol vessel. Commander Zixthul observed the destruction from his stealth cruiser, satisfied with his fleet's performance. The research station was completely destroyed, and intelligence suggested that all quantum communication research had been eliminated. He prepared to file a report, claiming the destruction was caused by a catastrophic reactor failure. "Sir," his communications officer reported, "we are detecting some evacuation pods that escaped the destruction." "Natural," Zixthul replied. "Some survival was expected. The fewer survivors, the more suspicious the accident appears. Leave them. Our mission is complete." But Zixthul had made a critical error. He assumed that destroying the research station meant destroying the research. He had no way of knowing that human scientists, facing annihilation, had found a way to preserve their work. The crystal in Elena's pocket contained not just the quantum communication protocols, but detailed sensor readings of the attacking ships. 3 weeks later, Elena stood before the Emergency Council of the Human Colonial Government on Earth. The crystal data had been successfully decoded, revealing both the quantum communication breakthrough and evidence of the coordinated attack that destroyed Omega-7. The ships were definitely Kethvar design, Admiral Harrison informed the Council, studying the technical analysis. But they used stealth technology and carried no identification. Officially, they don't exist. Councillor Martinez, the civilian head of the colonial government, looked troubled. "The Kethvar have been our mediators with other galactic civilizations for decades. Why would they attack a research station?" Dr. Elizabeth Warren, Earth's leading expert on galactic politics, had the answer. Because quantum communication threatens their power structure. The Kethvar control information flow throughout the galaxy. If every species can communicate instantaneously, the Kethvar lose their role as essential middlemen. Elena stepped forward. "With respect, counselors, the why doesn't matter right now. What matters is that they murdered 15,000 civilians to protect their monopoly. The question is, what are we going to do about it?" Admiral Harrison nodded, grimly. "Commander Vasquez is correct. We have evidence of a coordinated attack on human civilians by a supposedly neutral power. This is an act of war, regardless of their motivations." "But we can't prove it publicly," Councillor Martinez protested. "The Kethvar will deny involvement. It will be our word against theirs, and they have far more influence in galactic politics." Elena felt the weight of the crystal in her pocket, thinking of Dr. Chen and Dr. Kim, who had died to preserve this technology. "Then we don't make it public. We implement the silent protocol." The room fell quiet. The silent protocol was a theoretical military doctrine developed years earlier, but never implemented. It called for covert operations against enemies who attacked human civilians while maintaining plausible deniability. "Elena," Admiral Harrison said slowly, "the silent protocol assumes we're dealing with conventional enemies. The Kethvar have the most advanced intelligence network in the galaxy. They'll detect any overt military preparation." "Then we don't use overt military preparation," Elena replied. "We use scientists." 3 months later, the galaxy began to change in ways that seemed completely unrelated to the destruction of Omega-7. Dr. Patricia Wong, working at a research facility on Mars, announced a breakthrough in quantum mechanics that would revolutionize energy production. Her discovery was immediately classified and distributed to every human colony. Dr. James Liu, stationed on Europa, published papers on exotic matter manipulation that caught the attention of theoretical physicists across human space. His work was quietly incorporated into colonial defense projects. Dr. Amanda Foster, researching on Titan, developed new crystalline matrix technologies that seemed designed for data storage and processing. Her blueprints were transmitted to manufacturing centers throughout the human colonies. None of these scientists mentioned quantum communication in their public work. But Elena Vasquez, now promoted to admiral and placed in charge of colonial defense coordination, knew that each breakthrough was actually a component of the system that Dr. Chen and Dr. Kim had died to preserve. The silent protocol was working exactly as designed. Instead of building quantum communication networks openly, humanity was developing the technology in pieces, disguised as unrelated research projects. To outside observers, humans were simply making impressive progress in various scientific fields. Commander Zix Thul, monitoring human activities from his intelligence post in the neutral zone, noticed the surge in human scientific development, but saw no cause for alarm. The mammalian species were naturally innovative. Their progress in energy production and materials science was impressive, but posed no threat to Kethvar interests. His analysis changed dramatically 18 months after the destruction of Omega-7. Kethvar intelligence intercepted a human military communication that should have been impossible. The message was transmitted from Earth to the colonial world of New Geneva, a distance of 47 light-years, and was received instantaneously. Impossible, Zixthul muttered, reviewing the intercept data. We destroyed their research. We confirmed the elimination of all quantum communication technology. His subordinate Veltar had been conducting his own analysis. Sir, I believe we may have made an error. The humans appear to have preserved their research and implemented it in secret. Zixthul's 4 eyes narrowed with growing concern. Show me the evidence. Veltar activated a holographic display showing human colonial space. Red lines appeared between star systems, representing detected quantum communication links. Sir, they've connected 17 colonies so far. At their current rate of deployment, they'll have network coverage of all human space within 2 years. The implications hit Zixthul like a physical blow. 17 human colonies could now coordinate their activities in real time. Their military responses, their economic decisions, their scientific research. All of it could be synchronized instantly across dozens of star systems. Sir, Veltar continued, there's more. Intelligence suggests they're preparing to share the technology with their trading partners. The Altarian Republic has agreed to a technology exchange program. The Centauran Federation is negotiating for quantum communication access. Zixthul stood abruptly, his scaled skin changing color with agitation. Send an immediate message to High Command. Priority 1. The human quantum communication network must be destroyed before it can spread to other species. Sir, what about Protocol 7? Our previous intervention was successful in eliminating their research capability. Protocol 7 failed, Zixthul replied bitterly. The humans preserved their knowledge despite our actions. Now we face a fully operational network instead of a single research station. 2 days later, Kethvar High Command authorized Protocol 9, full-scale military intervention to eliminate the human quantum communication network. Unlike the covert attack on Omega-7, this would be an open assault on human infrastructure disguised as a peacekeeping operation. The Kethvar plan was elegant in its simplicity. They would claim that human quantum communication technology was causing dangerous subspace distortions that threatened navigation safety. As galactic peacekeepers, they had a responsibility to neutralize the threat. The fact that this would also eliminate humanity's growing independence was merely a beneficial side effect. Admiral Elena Vasquez received intelligence about the Kethvar. military buildup while reviewing deployment schedules for the quantum communication network. Her intelligence staff had been monitoring Kethvar activities since the Omega-7 incident, and the signs were unmistakable. "They're assembling a fleet in the Vega sector," reported Captain Torres, now her intelligence chief. 47 ships, including their newest battlecruisers. Official designation is Subspace Safety Inspection Force. Elena studied the tactical projections on her holographic display. The Kethvar fleet was powerful enough to destroy human quantum communication facilities across multiple star systems simultaneously. Time to completion of their deployment? 8 days, Admiral. They'll be in position to strike at 12 of our major colonies. Elena had been preparing for this possibility since taking command of colonial defense. The silent protocol included contingencies for open warfare, but they required perfect timing and coordination. Initiate Phase 3 of the silent protocol. Authorization, Omega-7. Across human space, the message went out through quantum communication channels that the Kethvar couldn't intercept or decode. Colonial defense forces began implementing protocols that had been secretly developed and rehearsed for over a year. To outside observers, human military activities appeared routine. On New Geneva, Colonel Sarah Martinez received her orders and began what appeared to be a standard training exercise for her colonial marines. In reality, she was deploying advanced combat units equipped with technology reverse-engineered from the Kethvar ships that attacked Omega-7. On Kepler Prime, Captain David Kim started equipment tests of new defensive installations. The installations were actually quantum communication coordinated weapons platforms capable of tracking and engaging stealth vessels. On Europa Station, Dr. Amanda Foster began routine maintenance on her crystalline matrix research facility. She was actually activating a quantum communication relay that would coordinate the entire human defense network in real-time. The Kethvar fleet moved toward human space with confidence born of 1,000 years of galactic dominance. Commander Zixthul had reviewed human military capabilities and found them adequate but unexceptional. Their ships were competently designed, but used conventional technology. Their tactics were straightforward and predictable. "Sir, we are approaching the edge of human colonial space," his navigation officer reported. "All ships report ready for simultaneous strike operations." Zixthul activated the fleet communication system. "All vessels, this is Fleet Commander. We are implementing Protocol 9 under Galactic Peacekeeping Authority. Target all human quantum communication facilities for immediate neutralization. Minimize civilian casualties when possible, but the technology must be completely destroyed." The Kethvar fleet split into attack groups, each assigned to a specific human colony. Their stealth systems activated, making them nearly invisible to conventional sensors. Within hours, they would eliminate humanity's quantum communication network, just as they had eliminated the research station. But this time, the humans were ready. Admiral Elena Vasquez watched the tactical display in her command center on Earth as Kethvar ships approached 12 human colonies simultaneously. Red dots crept across the hologram, representing an enemy fleet that thought it held every advantage. "All colonies report ready," Captain Torres announced. "Quantum communication links are stable. All defense platforms are online and coordinated." Elena took a deep breath, thinking of everyone who had died on Omega-7, everyone who had worked in secret to make this moment possible. Execute Operation Silent Thunder. Across human space, the night sky suddenly came alive with weapons fire. But it wasn't random or desperate. Every human defense platform, every colonial patrol ship, every orbital installation fired in perfect coordination, targeting Kethvar vessels that should have been invisible. Commander Zixthul's confidence shattered as his stealth cruiser's shields collapsed under precise human fire. Around him, his fleet was being systematically destroyed by weapons that seemed to anticipate their every move. "How are they targeting us?" he demanded, watching 2 more Kethvar ships explode on his tactical display. "Our stealth systems are active," They should not be able to detect us." His sensor operator's voice was filled with confusion and fear. "Sir, they're not using conventional targeting. Their weapons are firing in coordinated patterns across multiple star systems. It's like they can see all of us simultaneously." And they could. The quantum communication network that the HFY had tried to destroy was now coordinating a defense grid that spanned dozens of star systems. Every sensor reading, every targeting solution, every tactical decision was shared instantaneously. Across the entire human colonial space. On New Geneva, Colonel Martinez watched HFY fighters streak toward her colony's quantum communication facility. Her defensive installations opened fire with weapons guided by targeting data from 11 other star systems. The fighters never reached their target. On Kepler Prime, Captain Kim coordinated the destruction of an entire HFY attack squadron, using tactical information provided by colonies light years away. The enemy ships found themselves caught in crossfire from weapons they couldn't even see. The battle lasted less than 2 hours. Of the 47 HFY ships that had approached human space with such confidence, only 12 survived to retreat. The rest were either destroyed or captured by human forces that seemed to operate with superhuman coordination. Commander Zix Thul, aboard one of the retreating ships, stared at his tactical display in shock. His species had dominated galactic warfare for a millennium, but they had never faced an enemy that could coordinate across interstellar distances in real time. "Sir, High Command is requesting a full report," his communications officer announced. "Tell them," Zix Thul said slowly, "that we have seriously underestimated the humans. Their quantum communication network doesn't just connect their colonies. It turns their entire species into a single coordinated entity." The aftermath of Operation Silent Thunder sent shockwaves through galactic civilization. The HFY, who had positioned themselves as the galaxy's peacekeepers and mediators, had been defeated by a species they had tried to secretly control. More importantly, other civilizations took notice of humanity's new capabilities. The Altarian Republic immediately accelerated their technology exchange negotiations with Earth. The Centauran Federation publicly announced their support for human quantum communication development. Within 6 months, 17 different species had requested access to quantum communication technology. Each new network connection reduced HFY influence and increased the galaxy's independence from their information control systems. Admiral Elena Vasquez stood once again in an observation deck, but this time she looked out over Earth's orbital shipyards where new vessels were being constructed with quantum communication systems as standard equipment. The silent protocol had succeeded beyond their wildest expectations. "Admiral," Captain Torres approached with the daily intelligence briefing. "The HFY have requested a formal meeting to discuss mutual defense cooperation." Elena smiled grimly. After 1,000 years of controlling galactic information flow, the HFY were finally ready to negotiate as equals rather than dictate as superiors. "Schedule the meeting, but make sure they understand the terms." "What terms, Admiral?" "Full disclosure of their intelligence operations, reparations for the Omega-7 massacre, and immediate cessation of all information control activities." Elena paused, looking out at the stars. "They can join the new galactic communication network, or they can be excluded from it, but they will never again hold power through information monopoly." 1 year later, Dr. Marcus Chen and Dr. Sarah Kim were posthumously awarded the Galactic Scientific Achievement Award for their development of quantum communication technology. Their sacrifice had not only preserved their research, but had fundamentally changed the balance of power in galactic civilization. Elena attended the ceremony as the guest of honor, carrying with her the original crystalline matrix that had preserved their work. In her speech, she spoke of how 2 scientists facing certain death had chosen to trust in humanity's future rather than accept defeat. They could have evacuated, she told the assembled representatives of 43 different species. They could have saved themselves and let their research die, Instead, they chose to ensure that their sacrifice would mean something. The quantum communication network now connected over 200 worlds belonging to 37 different species. Interstellar coordination had advanced by centuries in just 2 years. Trade flourished, scientific collaboration accelerated, and conflicts de-escalated through instant communication. The HFY, stripped of their information monopoly, had been forced to find new roles in galactic society. Some became researchers, contributing their advanced knowledge to collaborative projects. Others joined the new Galactic Communication Authority as technical specialists rather than controllers. Commander Zix Thule, his military career ended by the failed attack on human colonies, now worked as a cultural liaison, helping his people adapt to a galaxy where information flowed freely rather than through HFY-controlled channels. In a private meeting with Admiral Vasquez, he had admitted the truth about the attack on Research Station Omega-7. The conversation was recorded and became part of the official historical record, ensuring that the victims would be remembered and the lessons learned. "We thought," Zix Thule had said, his 4 eyes showing what humans had learned to recognize as HFY shame, "that controlling information was the same as maintaining order. We believed that our monopoly served the greater good." Elena had responded, with words that became famous throughout human space. "Information wants to be free. Science belongs to everyone. When you try to control discovery, you don't preserve order. You create the conditions for revolution." 5 years after the destruction of Omega-7, Research Station Omega-8 was constructed in the same star system where its predecessor had died. The new station was designed not just for research, but as a memorial to the 15,000 people who had perished for the crime of advancing human knowledge. Dr. Elena Martinez, daughter of Colonel Sarah Martinez, who had defended New Geneva, led the quantum physics research team at the new station. Her work focused on the next breakthrough in interstellar communication, quantum tunneling technology that might allow instantaneous matter transmission. Commander Elena Vasquez, now Fleet Admiral, visited the station during its dedication ceremony. She stood in the memorial chamber where holographic displays showed the faces and names of everyone who had died on the original Omega-7. "They gave their lives so that knowledge could survive," she told the assembled crowd. "The greatest monument to their sacrifice is not this station, but the galaxy we have built. A galaxy where information flows freely, where science serves all species, and where no one can ever again use ignorance as a tool of oppression." Sci-Fi. Quantum communication network continued to expand, connecting new species and worlds every month. But it remained fundamentally a human creation, designed around human values of open information sharing and scientific collaboration. Other species marveled at humanity's willingness to share such powerful technology freely rather than using it for domination. The answer, when they asked, was always the same. The technology had been born from sacrifice, preserved through courage, and protected through unity. It belonged to everyone because it had been paid for by everyone. As Admiral Vasquez looked out at the stars from Omega-8's observation deck, she reflected on how the destruction of a single research station had ultimately liberated an entire galaxy from centuries of information control. The HFY had tried to prevent human advancement through violence, and instead had accelerated it through necessity. The silent protocol had taught the galaxy a lesson that would not be forgotten. Humanity could be patient, humanity could be diplomatic, humanity could be peaceful. But when their people were murdered for the crime of discovery, humanity would respond with the full force of their unified civilization. The stars no longer seemed distant and isolated. Through quantum communication, they were all connected, all part of a vast network of knowledge and cooperation that spanned thousands of light years. It was a legacy worthy of the scientists who had died to preserve it. And in the quantum matrices that powered the communication network, stored in crystalline structures similar to the one that had preserved the original research, the names of Dr. Marcus Chen and Dr. Sarah Kim lived on, not as victims, but as the architects of a new galactic age. The warning had been ignored. The lesson had been learned, and the galaxy would never be the same.